This episode of Important If True is brought to you by Quip.
Oh, Quip.
Extremely well designed and convenient electric toothbrushes sent right to your home with brush head refills every 3 months. And you can get $10 off your first brush head refill by going to tryquip.com/thumbs.
Maybe I will. I should actually.
We have predicted reaction to prophecy, all-powerful stage magician,
for 200.
inquisitive AI shadow. I think those are our ones. Those are really the ones that have responses to them.
Mm-hmm.
If we ever did a live episode of Important If True, we would have to just make a Jeopardy board that has all these stupid things on them.
You could make a 5x4
right.
board. That would actually be pretty awesome. Yeah.
This video of someone scooping mosquitoes. Oh! Oh, if our Alex Trebek was Spates, though, it would be a very good show. Welcome to Important If True. You mad, to me, to me, to me. It's September 7th, 2017.
And this is Important If True.
From Idle Thumbs, I am Chris Remo.
I am Nick Brecken.
I am Jake Rodkin. Welcome to this podcast that we do every single week until the end of time.
We missed 2 weeks in August, so...
Time almost ended, it felt like,
well,
Chris.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
If it ever feels like time is about to end, we'll stop doing this podcast or put it on hold for a week until time resumes.
That seems prudent.
That's a dangerous claim to make these days.
Oh, okay. We'll always do this podcast forever, no matter what else happens on Earth or the rest of existence.
I don't like all these claims you're making. You also, Mr. I don't want to live forever.
Right.
I'm afraid of the infinite. Don't
Chris,
let me...
I will easily be replaced by any number of AI servants or masters or duplicates or whatever well before I die, and you won't even know that it happened.
Well...
This is no less disconcerting. I mean, still, I'm not happy with this situation. I will be replaced.
And you won't know. When you least expect it. I don't know anything that's happening right now.
No, I don't either.
What is this podcast?
I don't know.
That's something I ask myself every week.
Yeah, well.
That's how you know he's real, Jake.
If
he was an AI, Jake, he would know what this podcast is.
As soon as we figure out what this podcast actually is, your algorithms will be perfected, and the replacement Jake.
Yeah,
pattern defined.
Send questions to me. At idlethumbs.net.
I don't think we accepted questions in that inbox. So what should we talk about here on this podcast called Important If True, a podcast on the internet?
You tell me.
Speaking of replacing people with things, you want to talk about KFC's new virtual reality-based employee training program?
Sure.
Okay.
You just showed me some of the video of this, and it was not what I expected it to be.
The internet sort of blew up about this week. We're recording this episode a little bit in advance. The internet blew up about it, I'm sure, because KFC wanted them to. They had a huge tech journalist press unveiling for this. KFC has produced a thing that they call the hard way, which is a virtual reality-based training exercise for their employees, where you put on an Oculus Rift or a Vive or something, a VR headset, and then you're basically transported into the movie Saw mixed with the BioShock video games, where a sort of scratchy Colonel Sanders voice jovially berates you and tells you that he has locked you in this room until you learn the official 4-step method for creating KFC fried chicken.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of terrifying for the reasons that they want it to be terrifying, and it's also just unsettling for the rest of the reasons. It's already a weird sort of simulated but joke torture room.
It's supposed to be a totally over the top,
welcome employee number, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like you're welcome to hell. Like
welcome to Colonel's hell. But also there's like wacky Colonel Sanders dolls that spin around and goofy sound effects, and like he makes jokes,
folksy exclamations when you read the chicken.
But also it makes jokes about how crappy robots can't replace your job, and then inside of it, literally animated cartoon robot hands come down and do the perfect version of every step to show you how to do it.
Yeah.
So you're inside of a VR headset. Watching a robot show you how to do a job that you then have to do in virtual reality, and then ostensibly you would take the headset off.
Being trained by a computer man.
Yes. Then I guess you would take all of this stuff off and replace your 2 Vive touch controllers and headset with like an apron and gloves and make actual chicken over a deep fryer.
Yeah.
The press events for this, KFC said, this allows us to train an employee in 12 minutes instead of the usual 22 minutes. They also said, we don't really know if this is going to be used or anything. So
those two things don't really go together, do they? Yeah.
I mean, it's...
I was very dubious of
it's probably
how they show a robot doing it.
The building the robots that can do it is probably more expensive than putting a teen inside of inside of an Oculus Rift. But that's also probably more expensive than literally just taking the first 20 minutes of their first shift and saying, "Oh, here's how you make the chicken," which I think is what they've done for 30 years. So, it's good that they had an ad agency, like a multi-city, possibly multinational ad agency, spend a bunch of time making this VR training video. I don't know that it's anything other than a trap for us.
Is KFC one of these companies that millennials are killing? Or is KFC one? You know, like how millennials are killing Applebee's and shit. You know how that's a thing.
Yeah.
You know how we're killing Applebee's.
Yeah, millennials, they're killing everything.
Is KFC
everything's
like
dying.
one of the victims of this?
I'm pretty sure that they're not, because KFC is. What are they called? They were called Yum Brands or Tricon or Pack Pizza. They're one of the three of Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, KFC, and and it doesn't seem like they're being killed by millennials in any way, because all of their marketing is just outrageous millennial-focused gimmickry.
That's exactly why I'm asking. Like,
but it's got to be working.
Is that because they're speaking to their audience, or is that because they're desperately trying to like flail their wacky robot arms out?
I think the fact that they're companies that make cheap food,
sweet avocado cash.
They make cheap food that you can get in the middle of the night in your car without talking to another person, and then also they have gimmicks like KFC had a box that had a battery in it that would charge your phone. So, like, I think that they're not being killed. Yeah, that's like this. It's the same. It's literally the same, like, big holding company, I think, as the Doritos Guardians of the Galaxy Walkman bag and stuff. Like, this is just.
What is that?
What? You don't remember that? There was a bag of chips that you could plug headphones into, and it would play music from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. That's why Nevin, our friend, made the fake version that was like, oh, this has been done before, and made that amazing Photoshop of Francis Ford Coppola's The Conversation soundtrack as being played through like a 1970s taco-flavored Doritos bag.
Oh, man. I saw that without ever seeing the real thing.
Yeah. Well, the real thing was, as we know, that... that one of Gene Hackman sadly playing the saxophone alone in his apartment
with a bag of Doritos,
unable to find where and by what means he's being surveilled.
Yeah.
It's
by Colonel Sanders. He's looking at you in a room in which you are trapped until you make the chicken properly. That is who is surveilling you.
One of Francis Ford Coppola's lesser masterpieces, in fact, contained the secret recipe for Colonel Sanders' chicken, only now deduced.
He's still in there. Gene Hackman's still in that room trying to make the chicken.
Yeah.
It was never deduced.
This VR game, it really just looks like BioShock or something. It looks like just like any...
Yeah, they clearly just...
It looks like BioShock plus Job Simulator, if you've played that.
Yeah.
It looks like someone looked at Job Simulator and said, what if we use Job Simulator to simulate a real job? Mm-hmm. But it's still a cartoon fake job. It was made by an ad agency called Whedon and Kennedy, which is a huge ad agency. Like, they do stuff for Nike and, obviously brands like KFC. It's
sure.
This feels like, I feel like we are taking the bait by talking about it, despite it being fascinating on many axes, but it seems the same.
It was designed to get people to talk about it.
It feels like this is this era's insane version of like Was it KFC that did Subservient Chicken? Was that the webcam thing in the earlier days of the web? I can't remember which brand that was, but like that.
That was a brand?
I don't know this.
It was one of the fast food companies. This feels like it's the same sort of thing, but now the fact that the job market and how people are trained and are you being replaced by machines is all kind of being in the zeitgeist or in sort of people's latent anxiety the same way as VR is a piece of fascinating technology. I think that this is just entirely a marketing grab in the same way that there's a webcam with a guy on it who will do whatever you say was a huge shocking thing.
That was Burger King
10 years ago. Yeah.
God, Subservient Chicken was a thing from 2001 to 2012. And
it
then
ran. There's no way that they had new content up through 2012. Because that was, Subservient Chicken was just a bunch of clips where you would
maybe
type.
The website was just up that
it was
long.
a text parser that would make a webcam play different videos, and it sort of they tried to put as much possible content into it as they could, so that you would be shocked by by whatever you typed. The Subservient Chicken would do it. In our new dark future, you are the Subservient Chicken, and that's the novelty.
Yeah. Colonel Sanders whispers to his executive, "Keep fucking that chicken, and then you are fucked."
Yeah.
Wow, deep cut.
It'll be interesting when you're asked to start making the KFC chicken with the headset on, and it's because the actual sort of quality or content of the food is no longer what you think it is.
The guy in the suit was originally an actor, but he was claustrophobic in the suit, so he wouldn't do it. And we had to use one of the costume's designers. He would do about 6 moves, and then we'd have to fan him off because he would get so hot in the costume. This regarding Subservient Chicken.
Yeah.
God, I forgot about this. That was a totally different era of the internet.
Is it that
I guess
different?
It wasn't that different.
Yeah,
what am I talking about?
No, incorrect. Yeah, we are the Subservient Chickens, in fact. The three of us in this little orange room doing a song and dance about a KFC VR training exercise on command.
My hands, look up at the ceiling.
Valid Subservient Chicken commands.
We even have these wiggly robot arms in here that record our every move.
That's true.
Yeah.
A human being could never be replaced by a robot cinematographer. Jake turns on his
scene switcher.js.
Yeah.
Wow, what great cuts you guys choose in your videos. No one says that.
No.
Valid commands to Subservient Chicken include tango, show teeth, be an airplane, shake your booty, Travolta, be gone, go away, leave. That's
a lot of
really
very specific.
Poke your eye out, pee on the couch, pee in the corner, pee like a dog. Who on the developer side decided that those were all worth individually supporting?
Well, brands love the internet. Brands love being online.
Yeah.
Where they can be a person in a chicken suit or a suit that a person walks into and
this actually is a total so the KFC one is actually a totally appropriate successor to Subservient Chicken, because Subservient Chicken was in fact an actual guy in a chicken suit. It was a human being.
Yeah, they've replaced the Subservient Chicken with all of us.
They've replaced the Subservient Chicken with a dominating computer man.
Yeah, telling a human being to become a subservient chicken maker.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, bummer.
It's fine. That's chaos theory.
Johnny Driggs writes, "Hi, important if true. Here's a question for you. What would you do if you had unlimited magical powers, but only in the context of a stage magic show? You would have complete mastery over reality, but only when you were in front of a stage, on a stage, in front of an audience, in a performance advertised as a magic show. As I see it, there are 3 main approaches you could take. A, become a decent magician making a living putting out A- magic shows, only you wouldn't have to bother learning sleight of hand or designing rigs. B, become the world's best magician by putting on shows that are super impressive but still look like stage magic to avoid the suspicion they are actually supernatural. C, perform really shitty magic shows in terms of stagecraft, but ones that actually serve a societal purpose, like pulling rare earth metals out of a hat or removing tumors by sawing people in half. I don't really think that's how removing a tumor works.
Also, I think there are probably more than 3 options here. But anyway, let's go.
What would you 3 do with this unlimited but still annoying power? Thanks, Johnny Driggs."
First, that's an amazing premise.
Yeah, it's a very good premise.
That is
a
very
good
good
premise. Yeah.
That's also kind of the premise of The Prestige, the Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah, I suppose.
Sort of. I mean, not really.
Yeah.
That was like technology.
But
I guess,
it's close.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the idea is that you can perform actual world-altering magic, but only when you are couching it as shitty stage magic, right?
That's true.
That's true. That is
the
actually
Prestige
really good.
machine only functioned on stage and not anywhere else.
This is a total like superhero.
Yeah,
like
where you can do
power.
a shitty trick where you're like, is that your card? No? Well, whatever. All of your worries are gone.
Yeah.
You are genuinely happy. Like, congratulations.
Including
and they're like,
your
I
concern
am. Like,
about
geez.
whether I picked the right
they're
card.
like, yeah, that was a great magic trick.
You could actually, that's the shittier version. Is this your card? No. Oh, wow.
Wow, it is.
I guess it is. I guess it totally is my card.
Oh, God, that's so sad.
Like,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh, my
it
God.
is amazing. And the whole audience is like, wow, it is. And you're just like, they just picked any
Okay, no.
fucking card.
That's you. That's just.
I would use my magic not to fool the entire audience into believing it was the card, only the person on stage. So is that your card? And they're like, yeah, it is.
And they just, boo! Boo! And the person's like,
You're-
what? It was my
You're
card.
planned. You're full
God,
of shit.
that would actually
God,
be an
and they
amazing.
just all line up one after another.
That would be a psychologically traumatizing show for the audience because the person on stage, the person on stage would just be like, "It is my card. Look, why are you booing?
Yeah.
It totally is." And you and the audience are just no. And then
then you'd be like, "I'm next. I'm gonna fucking get this guy.
And then
Fuck you."
It would only be. It would not be psychologically traumatizing for the audience. It would only be psychologically traumatizing for the person on stage.
No.
It would only become psychologically traumatizing for the audience as one by one,
Yes,
every
over
single
time.
one of
Okay,
them.
when you just
brought
watch-
up on stage.
No, the most traumatizing part of this is that when there are 400 people in the audience, when 399 of them have all been fucked by this guy, and you
Right.
are the last remaining
And he
person.
refuses to bring
and-
you up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and you're just like, what the fuck is happening? Like,
I want to do it. I want to see.
Yeah.
I think you've seen plenty of proof.
Or the magician, you then tell that one guy, they all believed it because I made them believe it with my mind.
I told them to, and they listened to me because my will is stronger
And
than
then it's
theirs.
like, you can come up on stage and I'll do it to you.
Jesus.
With just a spotlight on that guy
Yeah.
and the rest of the audience
Yeah.
all sort of just cultishly watching you because they're just like completely
Yeah.
fascinated.
Wow, this is horrible.
Yeah.
This is horrifying.
I mean,
it's
I like
actually
the
a
version
bad-
instead where you just make everyone feel good by way of saying, when I snap my fingers, you'll all feel nice about your life.
What, forever?
Yeah, just, I don't
Until
know.
they die?
Well, I mean, you don't have to be happy all the time. That's really messed up. But, just sort of,
only when they come in.
you're just slightly less burdened
Well,
by
then people would
things
just
that
get
burden
fucking
you.
addicted to your magic show.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe there's no good version of this
They would
unless
just
you
come
just
to your magic show all the time.
that's true.
Which,
I mean,
bonus.
that's yeah. I mean,
Make
that's good
more money
business.
then.
Do you think
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Do you
that's
think
what you want.
Subservient chicken.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Make the chicken right. Do it right.
Do you yourself have to be on stage for this to work, or do you think this could be franchised? Do you think you could Chuck E. Cheese this and have it be your
man.
magic
Oh,
show?
you can have your animatronic
yeah,
horrible
your magic
band.
show as performed by a band.
God.
I say this because at least
So
a
just
couple
turn
of
into
us,
a religion.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was watching Doug, our web developer, sent out on the Idle Thumb Slack, sent out a video of the Showbiz Pizza to Chuck E. Cheese rebranding procedure, which was how you can take an existing
The what to Chuck E. Cheese?
Showbiz Pizza, the
Oh.
Rocket Fire Explosion, like the old thing. Like there was Chuck E. Cheese and there was Rocket Fire Explosion, and it was the two different animatronic pizza bands. We've talked
Dueling
about this.
animatronic pizza
yeah, and
bands, yeah.
they merged into one unified
God,
pizza
when we talked about- when
to
we-
me.
When we talked about that, we found that who was it? Was that guy who does his own? He has his own animatronic bands and he programs them. He used to work for one of those
I
companies.
think it's the guy who created the Rocket Fire Explosion.
He had legit.
Yeah, and we talked about
animatronics from the.
funding. We should still do that. We should still.
Oh yeah, funding a.
Get them to do the Important of Truth
Important
theme song
of
or
Truth,
whatever.
yeah,
They could do that.
yeah.
But the VHS video showing you how to convert your Chuck E. Cheese into a Rocket Fire Explosion is just it looks like an old Nick Jr. edutainment show because it's not, the special effects aren't high because it's literally just they'll plant a camera there, but they don't show the whole process. It just goes like bring, and then like remove so and so's face, bring, and then it's like the face is gone, and it's just a robot guts, like remove the arm, bing, remove the keyboard, bing, ding, ding,
Yeah.
unscrew tree decoration and destroy it. It will not be reused. But It's super fucked
Yeah,
up.
what if that was the fucking magical stage magician?
Yeah, but then it's
Remove
just
face.
it will not be reused.
But you could take that to heart and find all of the remaining Chuck E. Cheeses and maybe infuse them with actual magic that makes kids happy.
Well, yeah, but also those they
lies to them and makes you think that all the tricks work.
Chuck E. Cheese just announced that they're getting rid of all the animatronics.
Wait, really?
Did you guys not hear about this?
What?
No.
Oh yeah. No, they're renovating all existing Chuck E. Cheeses, and all of the animatronics are going to be gone.
Remove face. Discard. It will not be removed. Remove arms. Discard. They will not be reused. Remove legs. Discard. They will not be reused.
Roll away.
Place giant
Roll into
TV
dumpster.
screen of bad CG animation of Chuck E. Cheese band. Insert DVD.
Yeah.
Insert SD DVD of band.
I mean, the actual fundraising
Fire
drive.
animatronic operators. They will not be reused.
I mean, the actual fundraising drive could just be to buy one of these things at this point, because we.
No, they don't need it.
Oh,
It would have to
yeah.
go it could be right there
It could
behind
fit
you.
in
Oh
this
my
studio.
God.
It could take up 20%
Just the
of
face.
the floor
We'd have
space
to
of
Just the
studio.
face.
We'd have to rent another whole office to hide the air compressor that powers those things, because they're either
my God,
or like
yeah.
hydraulic pump. They're not quiet.
Yeah.
They're meant to be
They-
in a
they
room where
clap.
a
Yeah, those-
huge are you ready for a pizza band to play? And like have 1,000 kids going yay, because otherwise you would just hear.
Yeah. Those things operating without music is fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a disaster. It's
Yeah.
a disaster. So we can't have that. We can't even run our air conditioner when we're in here. But imagine if you could collect all of the animatronics from the disused Chuck E. Cheeses, infuse them with your shitty-ass magic show that is a terrible trap but is actually real and makes the world better. I mean, this is a trap because no one would
Maybe
go to
the way
it.
you could achieve that, here's the way you have to achieve that in the context of this question, is you have to have the animatronic band on stage with you, the actual magician, during your stage show, and then as part of your magic act, imbue them with whatever power they
This is
need.
a weird religion. Only I on this stage have the power to imbue.
That's how they all work.
To imbue this band with the power of
What do you
real
think
magic.
L. Ron Hubbard did?
Right, but in this case, it's real, I guess, where you're like, but also you're just giving them life. I imbue this band with the power to exist and affect change in the world on their own, and they're like, thanks. Oh,
Peace
no.
out.
Peace out. Yeah.
But to the audience, whatever. Like it doesn't seem.
This arm, when, unmetered, can just crush a kid's face into the ground. Bye.
Yeah, but to the audience, they're
Welcome to my torture room.
make my chicken.
Remove the face and destroy.
It will not be reused.
This is not virtual reality. These are living robots imbued with life by a malevolent stage magician. Destroy it, please. Please! I'm the real Colonel Sanders. I also was given infinite life by this stage magician. I can't die. Please kill me and then destroy these robots that were brought to life by the same evil magician. This is all part of the giant children's food brand wars of the 1970s. One of us was an actual sorcerer. It was fucked up. Help me. Kill me. I've invented a VR training exercise to prepare you for the real war where you must dismember robots and put them in a deep fryer. That is what this has all been in preparation for.
Also, pee on couch.
Fart.
Fart.
Macarena.
Pee on floor. Pee on floor. Pee on self. Sorry, I gotta get my kick somehow.
These robots all have a back door, as exposed by the subservient chicken campaign by Burger King in the year 2001.
They can be short-circuited by a succession of P
The
commands.
following commands: pee, fart, Macarena, Macarena, fart,
Note spelling.
note spelling, leave. That will deactivate the band.
It's just the AI like list of words
Yes.
that activates the band as pee, fart, pee.
Yeah, that's how you get the backdoor access.
These are the robots that
Then
still
you can
use-
unlock their other commands, such as remove
Right.
face, remove arms.
These are still like pneumatic and hydraulic robots
Yes,
before
but
the
they've been
modern
imbued with magic
before the
life.
modern DNA, blood, like semi-organic
Well, those are
robots that
just-
can be overloaded
that's
with
just us,
meme
Chris.
encoding.
Yeah.
That's true. We are the true meme robots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colonel Colonel Sanders is trying to fucking tell us, and we are not listening.
This is terrible that this is what we chose to do with our stage show.
I'm sorry, Johnny
thought you were
Driggs,
gonna
that
say
you
our podcast.
proposed that we could like cure cancer or stuff, but I mean, we found the bigger threat, which is the already existing army of
Which is the
abandoned animatronic
decades-long
robots.
fast food,
Yeah, the
children's
long play.
entertainment, industrial
Wizard
complex,
Wars.
Wizard Wars.
This is real and guaranteed real.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that my Colonel Sanders voice is such a piece of shit. I'm not good at accents.
No, it was good. It was folksy. Got that folksy charm.
Yeah.
Peon rug. I think it's still up for debate how many generations removed this can get from the original wizard. I'm already calling him a wizard, magician.
Sorcerer.
From the almighty sorcerer, our Lord and Savior.
Our almighty sorcerer.
The wizard. I feel like you get one generation that he directly imbues with power, and then that sort of Chuck E. Cheese nightmare robot musician band can sort of go out and do their thing. But I feel like it's taking it a little too far for them to also be able to cast magical spells.
What if
and
the
shit
wizard himself imbues them with the power of magic?
I guess, yeah.
That was his first mistake. It's a classic mistake.
The genie can. create
Oh,
more
you're
wishes.
saying he's going to fucking genie himself.
Yeah, it's a genie.
Yeah,
it's
or
the
he's
genie
like
paradox.
totally-
Yeah, it's like a little slip of the tongue. He gave them his powers, basically.
Yeah.
Now they all, as long as they do a magic show, they can power up other robots.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
unfortunately, they're a fucking wacky children's band. It's what they do.
Yeah.
So like that's it. That's just going to multiply.
Wait, what do you
out.
mean that's just what they do?
They perform wacky entertainment shows on stage. They're just
Sure.
always, their powers are just always going to work. They're
But
just,
he believes, presumably, they're too simple-minded to use it against him.
I think so, but like no.
We know from past experience on this podcast that when that is your mentality, you gonna get genied.
Yeah, it's a it's a definite truth that some sort of stage magician sorcerer who imbues an animatronic band with his own stage magician sorcerer powers will be hoisted by that band.
Yeah.
Like for sure. And they're
Yeah.
gonna do it in a folksy ass way with like a guitar with one string that's a piece of rope and like an organ that's not plugged in, but he's
Yeah.
gonna be hoisted. The light
And whatever
show,
they do, it's gonna happen to a lot of children
Well, the
who will
children-
not be reused.
They'll eat some gross pizza. They're gonna play Moon Patrol, and they're gonna watch as like a smoke machine destroys a wizard, and like a country bear destroys a wizard. Those two things in combination.
Yeah.
Those are the two ingredients for a kid's stage show. I think sort of like a bear robot and like
Yeah.
a smoke machine, and then like a
wizard duel.
really bummed wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that stage show, Mom. Good chicken.
was very exciting.
Good chicken.
Good. Yes.
What?
Good. Chicken. He knew my card and everything.
Yeah.
That's just that's the like Planet of the Apes ending
Right,
or whatever,
right.
where like
Yeah, everybody
it's
is-
the sort of mother like animatronic bear and her like baby chicken son or like waddle away from the stage show approvingly.
Yeah.
With just the wreckage of human society stretching into infinitude beyond. It will not be reused.
We should take a break now.
Yeah. This episode of Important If True is brought to you by Warby Parker. Home Try-On. I got my Home Try-On for the first time.
Home try-on of what?
Oh, I'm sorry. Prescription eyeglasses and sunglasses.
That was really confusing and a little awkward.
Home Try-On, if you know what I mean.
I don't.
I got mine the other day,
Wait, did
and
you
I'm feeling pretty cozy.
your eyes?
Yeah, my eyes.
Oh, what is wrong with your eyes? So have you tried some looks?
I did. I tried 5 looks, and I took pictures of each one, and I sent them to my wife, and I
imagine people who are watching the video version of this episode right now are seeing your 5 looks.
I didn't prepare for this. I already sent them back, so I don't have them physically in my possession
You
yet.
sent pictures to Sarah. This is on record, Chris.
Oh.
Your telephone, a tiny
Right.
computer in your pocket,
True.
contains all 5 of your attempted eyeglass looks from Warby
Yes.
Parker.
Okay, if I remember to do this by the time I'm editing this podcast, I will put those in there.
Because that's the deal, right? They'll send you 5. You pick 5 that you want off their site. They send them to you in a little try-on box.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I put you on the spot there,
No,
but I
that's-
really want to see you with 5 different looks. I want to see you sporting your try-ons, Chris.
Well, that's what'll happen, I guess. Anyway, you can try it on yourself by going to warbyparkertrial.com/thumbs and you get 5 frames to try on for 5 days. It's totally free. You don't have to pay anything to do that. And then if you like any of them, you can just order it right off the website with your prescription. WarbyParkerTrial.com/thumbs.
Nice.
Jake, we have a shout out.
Oh, shit.
This shout out was purchased by S.T. Keaton, who has a personal project and he wants to get the word out. This is an ongoing fantasy story he's writing called Tales of Mir, which you can find at talesofmir.com, and that is spelled Tales of M-I-I-R.
Cool.
.com, talesofmiir.com. It looks like he publishes a chapter every week. He summarizes it as the story follows Elwood, a man raised in a religious order who begins to question his people's glorifying of war and zealous religious intolerance. The story features an inclusive and varied cast of characters who must learn how to face a world crazed with violence. All written by your favorite Amazon correspondent. Presumably this is the person who gave us some inside knowledge.
Oh, of the Amazon of fulfillment warehouse weirdness.
Yes. It looks like this is something he's working on for a while now. It is, I think, really cool to have personal projects like this to help, develop your, sort of focus your creative energies. And he's putting it all out there on the internet for you to read.
As we say this from our goofy home-built podcasting studio.
Yes, that's exactly right. So if you go to talesofmir.com, and again, that's mirror with 2 eyes, you can find all the chapters of this. It's all there for you to read.
Nice. That's cool. Thank you very much for buying a shout out. Hopefully folks check it out. And if you're interested, if you, the listener, are interested in buying a shout out, whether it's to let folks know of a thing you're working on or that you do, or for us to wish you or a friend good luck or make fun of them or whatever else, you can go to store.idlethumbs.net. I really want someone to buy one for me to make fun of their friend. Mostly because I say that all the time as an example, and
no one does it.
I'll feel so bad if I have to do it. It'll fail.
Yeah.
So if you want to see me, a broken man, try to make fun of your friend, buy a shout out.
And thank you, S.T. Keaton and Tales of Mir. All right, I believe we are back.
Welcome back.
Oh, hi.
Hey, we have an email from the dubiously named Stadawan Buffalo Robe. I mean, maybe not. That's a pretty sweet name if real.
Yeah.
Important if true.
Is very important if true. Howdy.
Hi.
Some time ago, you were talking about, to quote, an AI-monitored money game show where the AI would study your behaviors, actions, and choices to ultimately have a chance at that sweet, sweet cashola prize. While you were having the discussion, I believe it was Jake who said a very inane sentence of, the machine is asking you, why did you, the user, do that? Or something to the extent to get his point across. The more I thought about it, the more I got chills at the thought. What if you stripped away the game show element and you were somehow cursed with an AI that would simply ask you audibly, why did you do that? Imagine you're at the store, you pick one brand of ketchup over catsup. Is catsup pronounced catsup, or is it just spelled that but still pronounced ketchup?
It's gotta still be pronounced ketchup.
You right?
Yeah. But that seems very odd.
I've literally never heard anyone in my life say catsup except
sort of facetiously
when asking a question like this.
Yeah, yeah.
And also, I've never seen catsup used legitimately except to compare it to ketchup. So who the fuck is out there saying catsup?
I don't know.
Or spelling catsup. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I really don't like it.
It's like aberrant behavior.
Yeah.
Right in. If you know. Anyway, imagine you'd be at the store and pick one brand of ketchup over catsup, and it would ask, why did you do that? Wherein you'd have to explain your decision to the machine and ultimately yourself.
The answer in Chris's case is I would be incensed.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Why? It's clear why I chose ketchup over catsup. I don't even really particularly like ketchup, but I think the answer still is clear. Catsup will not be reused. Why did you choose that dating profile over the other one? Why did you take the bus to work instead of walk to work? Why aren't you driving or biking? Why did you wear blue instead of red? Why are you listening to that song again? The questions would be endless, and the more I run over this scenario, I can't tell if my life would improve if I asked myself why, or if I would be driven to madness by second-guessing every choice I make in a day. Help.
So I feel like...
Hold on. Ketchup and catsup are just two different westernized versions of a Cantonese word from when the thing that was originally ketchup was brought back to England.
Whoa!
Wow.
The internet told me that real quick. So there you go.
Interesting.
Wow, Cantonese.
Huh.
Apparently so.
Which is closer to the original source?
I don't know because I could not tell you the correct phonetic pronunciation of the Cantonese
That's interesting.
word.
Right.
And ketchup has become dominant now, but but catsup was more popular through the early 1900s, and then ketchup has destroyed, probably because of Heinz ketchup, I imagine. It went on the rise between the 60s to now, like the catsup versus ketchup sort of traded spaces.
Wow.
But it's been a word sort of that was mushed around starting, I think, in the 1700s or something like that. 1600s.
God, it's always amazing to me how early that stuff
So there you go.
ends up being.
That's what the internet says.
If I were an all-powerful stage magician only in the context of my own magic show, I would give free show admission to anyone who can demonstrate that they use the pronunciation catsup regularly. And it would be clear what my stage show would consist of.
And then why would you do that?
To fucking get rid of their impulse to say that stupid word. What do you mean?
Why do you think that?
You fucker. Anyway, Nick.
Well, I had a reaction to this. I feel like there are two options that you can game out here, right? Because the question that the reader is posing is, so the AI is saying, why did you do that?
Yeah.
You're going to give a response at some point. You're not just going to stonewall this robot forever. I mean, you could, but that's a whole other.
Why are you talking to me? Why are you talking to me? Why are you hitting
Isn't
yourself?
this just what actual children do?
Kind of.
In life, for
Basically.
real?
Yeah, we're also this AI could be a 3 to
That's
5 year old human child.
Yeah. But I feel
Except that it does this literally forever and only in your own head. Like, there's no social...
Is it in your own head or is it a thing?
I don't know. Actually,
no.
it's a
See,
good
this is what I'm saying.
I think it's an AI. I don't think it's like a physical robot.
What is that? That's immaterial. It either has a voice
AI
or
still
not.
has
It's
to
still
exist.
inside of your head.
Well,
all right. My voice.
all right. What are
My
you
inner
saying,
voice
Nick?
is a robot. No, like you have two options, right? Like either the robot in response. So like if I say I'm choosing catsup, the robot says, "Why are you doing that?" I say, "Well, because I just prefer catsup instead of ketchup." The robot then does what?
Says, why do you prefer that?
Yeah,
I assume.
Why do you prefer that one?
So it just keeps asking no matter
like,
what you say.
I found
It's an
that things labeled
unlimited
ketchup have
chain.
a more vinegary taste.
I guess that's not actually true.
That's
I guess
not
that isn't
true in the
necessarily
context of the question. So here's what I'm saying.
literally in the question.
So I mean, the question is what would happen to you as a person.
Right.
So I feel like if the robot, if to whatever you answer, like in sort of Spatzo ease, if you say this is what this is what I prefer, and the robot just says, then I feel like I would actually go insane. However,
Wait, what?
No. If the robot just sort of
if the robot then actually
literally
says, I'm judging you now because of your answer.
right, if it says anything, if it
Yeah.
actually says anything,
If it
I feel like
responds.
it doesn't matter what the response is.
Yeah.
I would go insane. However, if the robot doesn't respond and you give your answer and it just accepts it, I feel like I would just become the biggest fucking shit of all time because you would just be like, because I prefer loafers. They're clearly better than tennis shoes.
Oh, you're saying you could loophole your
And
way...
then it's just like self-reinforcement tool at that point. It's just
but I'm saying
nonstop
so
accepting
I think
everything.
The theoretical benefit of this is it would help you become more self-aware and like in tune with your own preferences. Except what you're saying
no.
is but I'm saying in theory. But I'm saying you're
saying this is just a little kid you have to bully. You could just have you could just
you're
ring
finding
out
the path of least resistance from point A to point B, and since it makes no value judgment,
Just
it is
feed it
satisfied
garbage.
by you just. So eventually, what you're doing as this continues is you're creating a world in which your preferences are justification for their own existence. So you are creating a mental. I mean, everyone has this, right? It's a bias that all humans have, but like part of the challenge of being an adult is overcoming that constant instinct towards sort of confirmation bias. But you're suggesting that this would turn you into someone who is trained day in and day out, that your like tautological sort of perceptions of the world.
Why are you doing it? Just because? Shut up. Basically.
Yeah. And I'm correct. Yeah, always. I'm always correct.
It would degrade your ability to have meaningful.
Yes. I feel like either option is horrible. but in
You-
very
you-
different
yeah,
ways.
You either spiral into yourself,
Yes.
or you spiral into yourself the other direction, or you spiral out of yourself into an existential dread.
Yes.
Right.
So you either feed confirmation
yeah.
bias in, or
Right.
if the robot actually challenges your questions at all, you're like, oh God, and then you just have to challenge everything.
You're just melt into a puddle of self-doubt
Yeah.
at every turn.
So
Yeah. There's no middle ground here.
I read this question in a very different way.
I'm not surprised.
Because the question specifically says the robot is not like it's not operating on the game show anymore, but I still in my brain assumed that it was a game show robot.
Oh, you assume it's still trying to predict how you're going to choose the money or whatever.
Well, and then it was like, why did you
see.
pick that? Like that it was just always still game show hosting at you
Right.
and like trying to couch every choice you make
Yeah.
as an entertaining thing for an
Yeah.
audience that does not exist.
Yeah.
And it's just, oh, the ketchup, Heinz brand. Interesting. What is it about Heinz that tastes so great? Why do you like Heinz? And you're just living in a movie testimonial commercial all the time.
You're also just describing an externalized version of what the entire point of the commercial internet is at this point.
yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
just to divine all preferences and predict all behavior of
But if
all
it's doing it
human
as
users.
this like affable
Right.
personality that's also always brand forward, why do you like A&W root beer? Why do you get up so early each morning?
Why
Is it
did-
to have a balanced breakfast?
Why did you bread the chicken that way?
Right.
Yeah.
And then, because here's the thing: once that has become ubiquitous enough, it can start sort of seeding. Why don't you just go over there? It can,
Right.
it can start.
Why pee in the toilet? Just pee on the couch.
Why don't you just stay where you are?
Well, I mean, it doesn't even need to
Why
say...
don't you mosey on down to
It
the
doesn't even
KFC?
yeah, it doesn't
and
even
fill
need to say
out-
that. It says, why did you get up and go to work?
No.
Oh God.
Why did you go to Wendy's? Why did you take public transportation?
Don't you like chicken? Don't you like my
Why do you keep trying to
chicken?
turn me off? Why do you keep looking for the off switch? Why do you think I'm real?
Why are you still at this magic show?
Why haven't you ever left this magic show?
Why don't you wake up?
Ah, dip the chicken into the basket.
Wait a second, that wasn't a question. Wasn't it? Are you sure?
Anyway, this is what I would do with this AI.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would go here. Why has it gone here? Why is it now the Colonel whispering horrible things to you? Why? I mean, Why is it
Why
the
not,
Colonel?
Jake?
why is it the Colonel? Yeah, why not? Jesus.
Why aren't you the Colonel?
What?
Why aren't we all the Colonel? I was like you.
Why would you say these things about me? Why would you think these things about me?
This is terrible.
It will not be reused.
No.
None of this will be reused. Sleep.
This is an interesting episode of this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you giving my secrets away on a podcast?
Yeah, I look over, Nick is just sweating in his seat, bolted to his chair.
Bolted to his chair because he is in fact an animatronic robot. Nick
Right.
is the first
Yeah.
to be replaced.
Yeah.
Does anyone have a question or a thing for us to talk about that isn't this?
The wizard writes, I swear to God.
God
says
damn
that.
it!
I did not seed that in. The wizard writes, salutations. Assuming in the future we possess unimaginably advanced computers and are somehow able to create the perfect simulation of the Big Bang, we could potentially have access to a device that would show us exactly what has happened, is happening, and will happen. This system could be accurate down to a subatomic level, theoretically. Assuming this is the case, would you be willing to use it?
Yes.
My philosophy has always been that to know is better than to not know. But if the simulator is indeed perfect and one uses it to ascertain the future, then that event would have occurred in the simulator as well, and any reaction you have to it would have been shown to you already. Mull it over. Get back to me if you do. The wizard.
The fact that one of these simulators would be recursive because it includes the simulator
Exactly.
is definitely a catch that I had not ever foreseen. That seems very similar to like if you travel through time and kill your grandfather, then he's already dead and therefore you're not born, or whatever, the sort of like, is time a loop?
Yeah.
But the notion of having a perfect like small window simulator of the universe that you could run tests on has been something that has been fascinating to me forever, although I don't like the idea that it would inevitably swallow itself.
I don't know how to get around that. I mean, if the point of this is to actually predict the future, that assumes you can like increase the time scale on this thing.
Or
right?
see alternate pasts, right? Like, if it starts from the Big Bang...
Well, the time scale has to be increased, otherwise it will never get farther ahead than the universe that contains it.
Right.
Right? I mean...
Yeah, it should be able to...
So you have to be able to put it on, like, X times the fucking speed of light or what. That doesn't really make sense in this context. But, like, you have to be able to increase the time scale some very extreme factor in order to get all the way up to, like, the existence of humans relative to the beginning of the universe. But at that point, like, by the time at the moment you reach the point that the simulation was created,
it would then
turn into like a crazy mirror hallway forever. I mean, I assume
the render speed suddenly just slows way down, and it takes exponentially long. It's like when you point a camera at a TV that's filming itself. You mean, or it just goes
It's impossible to even conceptualize, because like one assumes that the existence of this simulation will affect the choices people make in the world, but according to the terms of this, that also will be modeled by the simulation.
It's already happened.
It would have to. Well, no, the simulator would have to simulate the simulator simulating all the other simulated outcomes, and it would destroy itself. So you're like, what if someone killed Hitler? Sorry, what if indefinite possibility space being... But, here's the thing. If you have a thing that can simulate the entirety of existence...
Well, you wouldn't need to...
Presumably it can simulate the entirety of existence, period, including the simulator simulating
The only way Hitler would have been killed before we understood him to have died by suicide would be if this is not saying like you can play around with different outcomes. This is saying it is showing you, due to like subatomic movements, deterministically what will have happened since the foundation instant of the universe. So the only way Hitler could have suffered a different fate is if we currently talking about this right now are living in some hypothetical simulated universe contained in another one in which something different happened to Hitler.
Right. Fair enough. You're right. So you're saying
Nick, you were going to say something.
No.
So you're saying you could potentially, once you have this stupid simulator and it inevitably has to account for its own existence, then from that point on, who the fuck knows what's going on, because the simulator is now simulating the possibility space of you knowing that the simulator exists, and then it does just get trapped in an infinite, just vile nest of itself.
Yeah, I mean, I think even possibility space is a misleading word to use, because again, this is like,
I guess
the claim here is that it is in fact collapsing down all possibility to one deterministic outcome.
Right, but what does that look like when you're looking at a machine that is showing you, like, you shift your weight to the left versus to the right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, well, you have fast forwarded past that point and you see yourself moving to the left and the right before you do it. And then maybe because you see it in the thing in the future, you do it in the present. But even that has been foretold by the wizard.
By the bigger simulator.
KFC.
No, stop. You're not supposed to bring it back to that.
Sorry. I can't.
It makes me feel way too dumb.
Get my head around this. It is so intense. I wonder if there's some kind of like margin of error that gets small enough that you could sort of, if you were coding this simulation, so to speak, if you could sort of limit the number of recursive layers down to like, the 10th power or something, and. Well, I don't know. I mean, I wonder if there's like some recursion limit that you could stop and say, oh, we're effectively simulating the universe to like some microscopic degree of certitude by only recursing like 10,000 universes deep. And by which point the effect on universe prime is minimized.
You know what? The way it'd have to work, the machine would have to lock you in, and you would have to die within the machine.
What? What? I don't even. Hold on.
You're saying that by observing it, you change it. So the only way this would work is if you somehow can be taken out of the universe. You would be like, this is like playing a video game versus
Right.
spectating a video
Because
game.
then-
you have to switch your existence to
Right.
spectator.
Because then whatever happens, the recursive. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if this is actually true. This probably isn't actually what would happen. But like, there would be like a 70-year block that would be just absolute garbage. But because that you're
Wait,
never
what?
getting out.
Why a 70-year block?
Because if you're just like, well, okay, probably a week because you run out of food or whatever. But
Wait, what? I don't even know what
you're locked in the machine. You're gonna die.
What machine?
The simulator machine. It's a chamber. It's a bariatric chamber that you cannot.
Allows you
Okay.
to view this
Yeah,
content.
so you
Nick
can
is-
It's like
do
the
it, but you
fucking
can't
X-Men
affect the
sphere
outside
or whatever.
universe.
Nick is proposing
So-
that the only possible way this could work in his mind without destroying existence is for its existence to be hermetically sealed.
I don't think that would actually take away the paradox.
You
but
think that it would potentially reduce its impact?
Yeah.
I mean, this
I don't
is
know
the-
if you
this
could.
is the
I don't know if you could
classic-
simulate
someone-
beyond that.
This is the classic tree falling in an empty forest. Like, does the existence of
Yeah.
the simulation itself affect the world, or is it only the observation of the simulation? that
The
changes?
old adage: if a man is locked in a spherical barometric chamber watching a simulation of existence play out past his current point in the timeline, does it impact reality?
And a tree falls in a forest inside of that universe. Does the tree also fall in the real one?
has that tree fallen? I feel like there are people who probably might even listen to this very podcast who are actually smart people and not
Yeah.
idiots
Yeah.
who will write into us about this, and we can be blown away by it.
I
Or
think-
they'll say, this is stupid, and
I
we'll be
think
blown
it's-
away by that.
I think it's safe to say that regardless of the possibilities we've discussed involved in this simulational hypothetical situation, definitely, no matter which way it goes, humanity is for sure gonna get genied.
Are you saying if you by some means defy the laws of the universe and overextend yourself for potentially selfish means or personal gain outside the bounds of normal society or existence, you'll be hoisted?
That is what I'm saying. That is
Yeah.
exactly what I'm saying.
It seems,
And I stand by it.
that seems like the definition of hoisting.
Yeah.
The most hubristic hoisting of all is show me the entire existence.
Yeah.
Show me the entirety of existence and let me scrub it back and forth like a fucking QuickTime movie.
This is, however, also the only way that the fast food wizard can be defeated, because this is actually the only way in which it can all be reused. When you resimulate the entire universe, all of it will be reused.
Is that simulation of the universe itself a complete universe?
I guess maybe.
Gross.
Maybe not. No, that doesn't make any sense.
Why
That's
not?
like I don't know.
I mean,
That's like-
Chris,
that's like
hold
that-
on. If you're playing back literally the entirety of existence, everyone's lives, start to finish, all of their individual choices being simulated down to the
yeah, I mean, I
to the
guess you have to
atomic
simulate
level.
their neurons and shit.
You're
yeah.
simulating all this
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
atomic level. Does the fact that it's a playback mean that it's any less real?
I don't know. I guess not. I mean, it's like the end of Men in Black, I guess.
Ugh,
What?
the
It's
deepest.
so deep. Yeah, deep thoughts.
It's like aliens playing marbles or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
that was.
It's like the Matrix 2.
It's like, I think that it's like the Matrix. I mean, I think it's like we're all in a VR training game of real life, and then we'll eventually ascend to the magic show above.
Yeah, if you do the KFC chicken making training game and then open the wrong door, you see something you really
It's the
shouldn't
guy at the
see.
end of the Matrix 2. He's
I
just
don't
the
remember
Colonel.
that- I don't remember that movie.
Oh, that's true. The guy at the end
He
of
is
the
the
Matrix
fucking Colonel. He's Colonel Sanders in the room with the TVs that show all infinite possibilities of
Yeah,
who
there's
the
just, a guy,
character
there's
is.
just a guy in a white suit
shit.
with a beard who shows you all possible
All right.
possibility space of the world. Well,
Yep.
All right, well there's your
Wachowskis
answer.
did it.
Yep.
They answered this question definitively in The Matrix 2. Which I'm sure everyone has seen more than one time in their life when it came out and then never again. We've all seen that movie a lot.
One person's seen it infinite times.
What?
The guy who went into the simulator has seen it all,
that's
time,
true.
all times.
He's really over
Yeah,
the
he's just
Matrix
fucking
2.
done with that scene.
That podcast where those guys watch
Oh,
fucking
God.
Paul Blart or whatever every day or
Jesus,
whatever
yeah.
the fuck happens. It's just they're just dispatches from this
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah. When we do that
Simulation.
podcast, it's called To Me, To Me, To Me, To Me, To Me.
Yeah.
And it's that time when those two syllables were uttered in The Matrix 2 on loop forever.
Yeah. Should we endorse?
We
yeah,
should
let's endorse. Nick, what do you have to endorse?
I have a quick endorsement because it's sort of something I can't really describe without kind of spoiling any of the jokes or anything. But it's a YouTube series, and I've made a lot of food endorsements. This is a YouTube series that is about food, but is sort of just parodying food culture, called The Catering Show, which is it's an Australian duo of these two female comics, Kate McLennan and Kate God damn it! They have basically the same name. Yeah, it's two Kates, and it's called The Catering Show with a K.
Oh.
And it's very good. They're 10-minute episodes. The premise is that one of them is a food intolerant person, and they need to sort of like the other one is sort of a foodie, and she needs to create food that this food intolerant person can consume. But it just basically instantly devolves into just garbage, and it's good. It's very funny, and I would recommend it. I'm not going to go any further than that.
Nice, and that's going to be linked in the description for this episode.
Yeah.
Yep. Jake, what do you have?
I have a relatively classic style, important if true, endorsement, which is I endorse keeping all of the wiring and gross cable mess in your entertainment center and computer desk clean if you can do it. I know that's a ridiculous thing to say. Fuck zip ties.
Oh,
fuck zip ties. I have two specific things that I recommend if you really want to get into this, which is it's a stupid sounding thing to get into, but I find it so satisfying to have all of the garbage, like cable vile. This office, other than that one cord you're waggling around, is pretty contained, my friend.
It is beautiful.
I really, really, really recommend you can just get spools of double-sided Velcro.
Yeah.
And it is amazing because it works like a zip tie, but you can just undo it, and you don't have to cut it apart and re-zip tie stuff.
Yeah.
It's usually just called like, just search for double-sided Velcro on Amazon or whatever. And the other thing that I recommend is a specific product annoyingly called the cable zipper, which is just, I know, it's such a stupid name. It's such a stupid name. It's just a bunch of plastic tubing that is used to bundle together huge clusters of
cables. Is it the one that like rolls around? It's like rolled?
It's kind of rolled. It actually has a little plastic like grippy handle thing that's sort of like, it's almost like the little like a pincher that you would use to like a hair clasp, almost like a springed thing where you pinch it open, you put your huge bundle of cables in it, and then the way that the tube is segmented is such that you can just pull this thing along with the front of one of your cables, and it just automatically cinches everything up into a tube
that's cool.
that you can then use the two-sided Velcro to attach to a desk leg or to the backside of your entertainment center.
That's cool.
And
nice.
Again, if you have to pull a cable out of it, you can just sort of wrench it out of it and then just like re-zip the whole thing back together. And like at this point, all of my crap in my house is cleaned up like that, and it is definitely a little bit of an obsessive thing, but it's also just when I need to plug something in or when I need to move the desk around or to get behind it, I don't have to just die in a hellscape of infinite cabling because of those two things. So that's what I recommend. Make yourself slightly happier if you're a person who likes clean things by actually cleaning up the huge pile of garbage you have to deal with because you own electronic equipment. That's all.
All right. That's cool.
Yeah.
I am going to recommend, this is sort of an expensive thing to do, so,
travel the world.
Use your judgment. No. I'm going to recommend buying a decent point-and-shoot camera instead of just using your phone camera. This is something I did recently when my wife and I went to, we had this crazy trip where we had to go to two different weddings, one in Pennsylvania and one in Ireland. The latter, actually, Jake, you were also there. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of decided, you know what, I wanted something that is like a few notches better than what is in my phone to try and make myself actually think slightly more carefully about shots I'm taking instead of just treating photography as something entirely disposable, which is just, what is encouraged by phones. And it's also, there's a lot of great things about that. You always have a camera. So there's something that is just incredibly convenient and additive to your life about always having a camera on you. But also if you're going somewhere that you think might actually have beautiful stuff to capture that might be worth putting a little more effort into. I don't know anything about crazy SLR cameras or anything like that, but I bought a Canon G9X Power Shoot, I think is what it's called. Mm-hmm. And it still lets you adjust the three basic, just fundamental things, right? You got your aperture, your shutter speed, and your ISO level. And just fooling around with those in a fairly low-risk environment, because there's still an automatic mode that just does it all for you. But I kind of read some primers on taking photographs using those basic settings, and like it really makes a huge difference. Just the ability to be more careful with your focus and your exposure settings just makes you like be a lot more thoughtful about your photographs. And I'm really glad I did it. I spent a few $100. There are definitely even in the point and shoot world, there are very expensive cameras. I did some research, and this seemed to be, I had kind of an upper limit on the price that I wanted to spend. And this is the one I ended up with, Canon G9X. So I'll link that one, but you can do your own research as well. I just thought it was a totally valuable thing, and I got some really nice photos in Ireland that I don't think would have come out nearly as well if I just used my phone.
Yeah.
Yep. It's worth pointing out that if you're interested in a stopgap for this, where you're thinking that you're interested in learning the fundamentals of photography but don't have the money to invest in a camera, you can get apps for iPhone or Android phones that explicitly give you direct access to all of those, to the best versions of those that the lens on your phone camera has. Like I have a phone app on my iPhone called like Halide or Halide, Halide, and it specifically, you can just, it has ISO slider, it has manual focus slider, it has exposure sliders, and then it also will do things that have actually helped me learn how this stuff works. Like this app in particular does a thing where it can put an overlay over the top of the phone camera image that will add little green bits of highlight to the area that is in the focal plane. Like they can read
that's cool.
the focal distance and show you like how tight and or narrow your focal plane is because of your adjustments to all of the other camera settings. And like that's, I never learned any of that stuff, even though, for a little while even I was a film student, but I didn't get far enough in to learn how any of that stuff worked. And it's been really nice to know that. And it's actually been the thing that has made me decide maybe I should buy a camera now that I'm using my stupid phone camera to like a real camera. Like I should probably actually invest in something that has a lens that is 5 times bigger than the one on my phone.
Right. Yeah, it's also really fun, even with like the point and shoot I have, having a true zoom.
Yes,
not
having an optical zoom, not digital.
Yeah, that's really cool. Anyway, I'll link the camera I got. I'll link some just like basic stuff I was reading that led me to do this, and I'll link the app that Jake mentioned, all in the description. And that is that for this episode of Important If True. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions for us, you need our consultation, you need us to puzzle through anything, you can send that to questions@importantiftrue.com. Our website is importantiftrue.com, and on there you can find links to everywhere that we reside on the internet, as well as the forum thread for each episode, which has people talking about all the crap that we talked about and tossing in their own knowledge and relevant things and discussion.
People are hopefully going to tell us all about this universe simulator.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they're going to explain how we're already in one, so we better get used to it or whatever.
I hope you like universe simulators. You're in one.
Yeah. You better learn to like universe simulators.
That's not what he says.
That is what he says.
No.
You want to bet?
I think he does.
Why would you want to bet?
I'm pretty sure he says, I hope you like ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one. Does he say you better learn?
Let's just look this up.
Important if true. What does Captain
like ghost stories? Who even says it? I've never
Captain Barbosa.
Yeah, okay.
I hope you like ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in.
Really? I hope you like. That's what it is?
Yeah, it's been misquoted in this office so aggressively that it has been gone.
I thought that was
I hope you believe in ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one.
Yeah.
You best start
believing in ghost stories. I was more correct than you.
What?
Yeah. You best start.
You best start.
Yeah.
Yep. You best start. You're right.
We best stop this podcast.
We best stop this podcast.
It will not be reused. Thank you for listening. Tell a friend if you like this garbage. Give us a review on iTunes if you like it. For Idle Thumbs, I am Chris Remo.
I'm Nick Breckett.
I'm Jake Rodkin.
Make the best of your time. Stay spicy until next week, because if there's one thing about the time you have on this universe or the simulation of it, is that time will not be reused.
true. It's bleak.